Hey, welcome. Today we're going to dig into an idea that's, believe it or not, over 2,000 years old, but it feels more relevant now than ever. We're going to look at our social lives through the eyes of the ancient philosopher Plato and learn how to, well, cultivate our friendships just like you would a garden.
So let's just start with a really direct question. I want you to think about the people you spend the most time with. Are they helping you grow, or are they making you wilt? Do they energize you, challenge you, and help you flourish? Or do you walk away from them feeling totally drained? It's a simple question, but the answer, well, it can change everything.
And this quote, inspired by Plato, is really the heart of our whole conversation today. It's such a powerful metaphor, right? The people in our lives are the soil our own personal growth is planted in. They can be rich with nutrients, helping us thrive, or they can be toxic, stunting our potential. So the crucial question is, who are you letting into your garden?
So let's just lay it all out there. For the rest of this explainer, we're going to look at our social world as a garden. And you are the active gardener. Now, this isn't about being transactional with people, not at all. It's about being intentional. It's an ancient idea that gives us a really powerful way to build a more fulfilling life, starting from the ground up.
Okay, so where does any good gardener start? With the soil, of course. And in your social garden, the soil is you. It's all about knowing who you are and what you stand for before you even think about who you want to plant next to you.
See, for Plato, the whole point of this was to achieve something he called eudaimonia. We often translate it as the good life or human flourishing. But it's not about being rich or having fun all the time. No, it's this deeper kind of fulfillment that you get from living a life of purpose and virtue. And that is the ultimate thing we're trying to grow in our garden.
Right, so before you can even think about choosing your friends, you have to know what you're striving for. What's your good life look like? Is it built on honesty, creativity, maybe compassion or ambition? These are your core values. They're the essential nutrients in your soil. Once you know them, you have a really clear standard for who you allow to take root in your life.
All right, so you've prepared your soil. You're clear on your values. Now what? Well, it's time to choose your seeds. This is the active, conscious process of selecting which people, which relationships you really want to plant and nurture in your life.
And what's so cool is that we can use Plato's 4 big virtues as our guide for picking the best seeds. You're looking for people who have wisdom, they offer sound judgment. People with courage who actually stand by their principles. Folks who practice temperance or self-control. And those who value justice, acting with fairness and integrity. These are the friends who will genuinely help you grow.
I mean, the difference is just night and day, isn't it? On one hand, you've got the nourishing friend. This is the person who lifts you up, who challenges you to be better, who shares your core values. And on the other hand, you've got the wilting friend, the one who just drains your energy, encourages your bad habits, and maybe even fosters a bit of resentment. Seeing it laid out like this makes it pretty clear, huh?
Okay, so you've planted some good seeds, but the work isn't over. Not even close. A garden doesn't just grow by itself, right? It needs constant care, attention, and yeah, sometimes a little bit of tough love. This brings us to the really important jobs of tending and weeding.
So how do we actually attend to these good relationships? Well, we can stick with our metaphor. You water them with shared experiences, actually doing things together. You provide sunlight through meaningful conversations, not just small talk. You add nutrients with mutual support, being there for each other. And you celebrate each other's growth and successes.
Now we got to talk about the hard part. The reality is, those negative relationships, the weeds in your garden, they soak up all the time. The water, the energy that you could be giving to the relationships that actually matter. And sometimes the most important job a gardener has is knowing what to remove.
And this isn't about being cruel or dramatic. It's about protecting your garden, protecting your own well-being, and you can do it gently. It all starts with just identifying the relationship that's consistently holding you back. Then you start to reduce the water. You limit your contact, you invest less energy. And finally, if you have to, you can gently uproot it by communicating your need for some distance, clearly and kindly.
So, after all this work, preparing the soil, choosing the seeds, tending and weeding, what's the result? What's the payoff? Well, it's the harvest. It's that flourishing life, that eudaimonia, that Plato was talking about all those centuries ago.
And what does that harvest actually feel like? Well, a massive chunk of it is just pure personal growth. Then you've got this incredible resilience because you've built a strong support system.
And of course, that leads to genuine happiness and this deep, profound sense of fulfillment. This is the good life, and it's something you actively cultivated through the people you chose to surround yourself with.
And maybe the most important takeaway here is this. Your social garden is never done. It's not a destination you arrive at. People change. You're going to change. Life happens. This whole process, the tending, the weeding, the planting, it's a continuous, lifelong practice. It's about staying intentional and always remembering that you are the gardener of your own life.
So I'll just leave you with this one last question. Thinking about everything we've talked about, what's one small action you can take today? Are you going to water a relationship that really matters to you? Maybe pull one tiny weed that's been bugging you? Or are you going to plant a new seed by reaching out to someone you really admire? The garden is yours.